Hi, welcome to another episode of Cancer Tamer. I'm your host, Dr. Charlie Ferrer.
And I'm Deborah Santulli Barone. Hi, and Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! We're actually here on 2021. Woo! We survived 2020. So one of the things that we want to do is to go over everything that we've done and all the ways that we have made our lives interesting and adventurous for 2020 and what we're planning to do for 2021.
Okay.
So we're just going to kind of like recap stuff from last year.
Okay.
And so one of the things that I wanted to talk about was the Stop and Shop cards.
Yes.
So for those of you that remember, we got a donation from the Rotary, the Mid-Island Rotary here on Staten Island, and they gave us enough Stop and Shop cards, and in conjunction with Stop and Shop, and we were able to distribute quite a number of Stop and Shop cards to individuals that they could use for their groceries and everything else. So we want to give a big shout out to Rotary, Mid-Island Rotary here on Staten Island. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And
we have some pictures.
We actually did have some pictures.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to meet with too many people. They were afraid to, come out and get close to us, but we did have a few. If there are pictures coming up, okay, that's Jamie. Hi, Jamie.
So, hi, Jamie. Thanks for sharing your picture.
Yes, she was very happy. And there's Rosemary.
Yeah, and Rosemary also has the lymphedema pillows.
Right, that you had them made, which is great.
And so in case you don't remember, in 2019, I met that wonderful woman, Camille, who actually started doing the lymphedema pillows for us.
Right.
And she did them in memory of her mom who had passed from breast cancer as well. And it was wonderful because I met Camille by fluke.
Oh, okay.
When I was driving by and they had a church fair that was going on. And so, I'm driving by and it's just like, pull over. I want to see what's happening. And I met her, and she volunteered to do the pillows. Now, you have to know, when people volunteer, it's always nice when they say, oh, yeah, I'll volunteer and I'll help. And then they disappear because they never help.
We learned that.
Yeah. But it was wonderful because actually Camille called me 2 weeks later. She goes, are you ready for me to do the pillows?
Look at that.
That's great. She just did these wonderful, beautiful pillows. We donated over 50 to Rumsey here on Staten Island.
Okay, Richmond University, County University.
Richmond University Medical Center.
Yes.
Because Richmond University Medical Center here in Staten Island has a breast cancer unit. And so beginning of 2020, we donated over 50 pillows to them. And then we also donated pillows to other hospitals in New York City. And all because of the wonderful donation of her time from Camille. So thank you so much, Camille, if you're out there.
Yeah. Because she gets the material, everything for it. Yeah.
And we also had where individuals, like some of the people from the Rotary, they had donated the fabric, remember?
Yes.
So we had fabric donated and so on. And so if you're able to sew and want to help us out that way, that would be wonderful.
Right. Or if you have fabric, please let us know. Just go on the website. Yeah. Some really funky, fun fabric.
Yeah, because we had the one that said crabby.
Yeah,
that was my favorite one. It said crabby. And so you had a crab with little things. And so my favorite pillow, which I kept, was that it said crabby all over the place.
Oh. And just in case you don't know, so why do we use lymphedema pillows is that sometimes after you get cut under your arm for your nodes that get taken out, there's a lot of pain when you put your arm back down. So this pillow kind of eases it. And then when you're driving or in the car, I used to put it across here because your seatbelt is going to hurt you, so that helped me a lot. It really did.
Right. And you can also use it for when you're going to sleep. So I tend to put it like right underneath my breast, and when I'm doing, it took me 4 years to do the side sleep, but it's wonderful to put it there because it cushions.
Right.
And one of the things that I've noticed, especially if you've had a mastectomy, you no longer have to cushion on your chest. Because your breast acts as a cushion against your chest. And because you no longer have that, it hurts your chest. Because I remember the first time that I slept on my chest, I ended up having to go to the hospital, and they thought I was having a heart attack because there was so much pressure on my chest. So noticing things that you need to do. If you don't have a lymphedema pillow, you can always contact us. We'll send one to you. If we have to mail it, you have to cover the mailing. But you can always come and pick it up.
That's right.
And if you are a member of a hospital or an organization and you need a whole bunch of them, just contact us and we'll donate them. That's what they're for. And it's also thanks to everyone that helps to support us along the way, which is how we're able to make these donations to other people.
Right.
The other thing that we did last year, too, was that we were able to provide some financial assistance to women that were needing assistance to pay for their medicine. Because a lot of the things that happened last year was everybody was covering food, and you had pantries, and we tried doing that as well because we'd go to Costco.
Because you gave food away, too.
Yeah, we'd go to Costco, and we'd buy a whole bunch of stuff and then divvy it up into different segments. But one of the things that we found that there wasn't support for was those necessities that you have, like like gauze pads and just gauze pads. You go through a pack a week.
Yeah, and it gets
50.
expensive. It gets very expensive.
Yeah, and you have to pay like $10, $15. By the end of the month, you're paying $50 in gauze pads, which, by the way, you should not be paying because if your doctor writes a prescription for gauze pads, then you can go and fill it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So it's part of your insurance. It's durable medical equipment. So use that. Yeah. And so you can then get the prescription and have your doctor say how many pads you need. Because if you just say you need one box, they'll only give you 25. But you actually need like 200 of these a month because, you're changing the pads on your sutures. And you want to stay clean. So have your doctor write a prescription, say you need like 250, and then what the pharmacy will do is that they will give these to you as part of your prescription.
All in bulk like that?
They'll give you like, 10 boxes. At one time, when I had my surgeries, I had like 10 boxes that they would give me in one shot. And, your insurance pays for it. Hey. So that's like $50 that you don't have to worry about. So make sure you connect. And the book, if you get our book, Breast Cancer from Diagnosis to Surgery, there's a whole bunch of hints in the book about ways to be able to pay for all these things that you shouldn't be paying for in the first place. It's part of your insurance. So make sure that you talk to your doctor about that. And they will always say, right?
Yeah.
Oh, your insurance is not going to cover that. Don't buy that.
Right.
Just have them write it and go from there.
That's true. And also, it's important that... I don't even know what I'm saying. Brain fog. What can I tell you?
This chemo brain thing that happens with us. We know that. But there's so many things to talk about and discuss, and so many little pieces that nobody tells you about. Because nobody told us when we started with the lymphedema pillows, nobody told us about that.
Right.
And that
how
was
much
actually
pain.
My sister who said, did you know about this?
Yeah. I only had 3 nodes taken out, but the pain, I actually thought I had the shingles because it was burning so much. So I knew nothing about that. But also, getting back to the book, that's what I wanted to say. The book that Dr. Charlie wrote, it's not only for breast cancer, because I have a friend that has a different kind of cancer, and I said, read the book, because there are pointers for how to approach the doctors, the nurses, what questions to ask. So it doesn't really matter what cancer. You can use that book as a reference for many different cancers or any ailment. So please check it out. It's important.
Yeah, and we tend to talk a lot about breast cancer because that's what we've had:
Right.
breast cancer, thyroid cancer,
Right.
leukemia. We just wanted to
We're a barrel of laughs.
have a little bit more, but everything that we talk about is across the board. So the examples that we give, the ways to connect with your insurance company, the ways to connect with your local councilman, and all of these things, use what works for you, adapt it, and keep moving.
Right.
Because that's the name of the game. And one of the things that Deborah and I have been so adamant about all of this time, and we wanted to make sure that our show, amplifies that, is that you have to be your own advocate. Nobody's going to do it for you. And we've heard before of, oh, well, I'm not used to talking to people. I'm shy. I don't know what to say. You know what? This isn't a 1 week thing. This is going to be going on for years with your life. And so start now. You didn't know how to walk and run and all that stuff either when you were a little kid. You learned. And this is all a process of learning. So learn to advocate for yourself.
It's the truth, because sometimes you only have one shot to get it right. So if you feel you're not comfortable with the doctor, or maybe the doctor's not open to certain things, you have to advocate, because this might be your only chance to really win this fight, I guess you can call it.
And it is your right. It is your right to say, I don't like that, or
Right.
don't talk to me that way, or you need to answer questions, or you need to, I have been known to sit in the room and refuse to leave. I was one of those patients. But it is that piece of knowing and advocating for yourself. And if you're too shy to do it, make sure that you have somebody that you drag with you. Because remember, they may not always be available, but have them ask. And the one thing that I do talk about all the time is write your questions down before you go to the doctors.
Yes.
I used to carry around a notebook with me, one
She
of those
still does.
composite. I still do. And I would carry around my notebook, and the minute that the doctor saw that on the desk, they knew they were there for a while, because I would write down all the questions. And this is why.
Right.
When you go to the doctor and you're in their office, it took you 3 months to get this stupid appointment, and you're in their office and they say, how are you doing? What is your first response?
I don't know what to do, right?
I'm fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why
Everything
people
is
say
fine.
that, I hear
know?
that a lot, too, even when I bring other
Yes.
people to the doctors, and I go, but you're not fine.
What's wrong with you? Oh, nothing. I've just been having a little issue, and your brain just kind of, it just does.
Right.
It's kind of like going to the principal's office. You don't know what to say. So you have your little book and go, here's a question, here's a question, here's a question, and get your questions answered. Do not make another appointment, because you'll have different questions for that other appointment. So sit there. Hey, that's what their job is. Their job is to answer your questions.
Right, and they're supposed to inform you of things.
Yes.
That's important.
And if your doctor doesn't, what's your
Dump
favorite?
them, dump them. I love to dump them. Here, hands down like that.
Yeah, go to a doctor. And one of the things that I was because part of what we do at Cancer Tamer as well is that we do, peer-to-peer consulting. I don't want to say counseling, but consulting. We discuss things. We chat. And so we actually had the piece of, well, I'm not sure if my doctor's listening and so on. It's like, okay, well, you know what? Doctors are like shoes. If the shoe doesn't fit, what do you do with the shoe? You get rid of it.
Right.
You change it. You get a different pair of shoes. And different doctors, just like shoes, work for different things. So feel free to shop around.
Yeah, definitely. And get second opinions. I don't understand when you go to one doctor and he tells you, okay, you need radiation, and you just go, okay, I know. No, get a second opinion. Get a third opinion. Make sure there's a consensus of, everyone kind of agreeing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I did in actually two other places, two other hospitals agreed with what my doctor had treatment plans for me. And I said, okay, now I feel comfortable to go forward. Don't just accept things. I see that a lot where people just accept whatever the doctor says. And I think it's important to check it out yourself, number one, read up on it, or at least get a second or third opinion.
Yeah.
And then go forward.
Yeah. And if you don't know where to check on it,
Right.
I have to say I was a major advocate for American Cancer Society. I would call them at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning and just go, hey, I need information. And they do have where they sent you different booklets on your, on your cancer. So it doesn't have to be breast cancer. They have booklets on everything. They send them to you in email. I'm a person that likes hands-on.
Yeah, me too.
So they will mail them to you. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's a wonderful piece of information. You have to advocate for yourself.
Right. But getting back to what you've
More
done.
stuff.
Okay, so
What
I'm
we've
impressed.
done.
Yes, yeah, but you started the crocheting club
Yes.
on the Zoom. I think that's great.
Yeah,
you know.
we have the crochet club on Zoom. We actually did, we actually have several clubs, but we did one for New York City, Staten Island. And we invite you to join. You do not have to have crocheting experience. We're only doing crochet. Knitting is just out of my purview. But what we do is that we get online on YouTube and we take different YouTube tutorials and we just go from there. Okay. And we do different things. We've done so many. I have like 27 projects at home that we've already done. And so one of the ways that we're going to do some fundraising this year, because we need support to be able to support others, is we're going to have an auction on some of those things that we've made in the Crochet Club and being able to auction them off.
That's a great idea.
So, yeah.
That's good.
So we're
Very
just,
good.
ways to help each other and wonderful things to do.
And don't forget, there's a support group that you've initiated online.
There's a support group for individuals here on Staten Island and in New York City. And we have one all over the country as well. But for those that are local, you've indicated to us that you weren't able to get on at times because it fills up quickly. So please sign up through our website that has the information for all of this and sign up. It's totally free, but it's a wonderful way when you're local to be able to say, hey, I need somebody here. You understand what's going on in New York City. You understand, what's going on next door and so on. And it's a wonderful way to also connect with other women that are going through this. This Zoom meeting, we do it on Zoom.
When is it? Do you have a specific day?
It is Wednesdays. It's already on the system. So Wednesdays, I believe it's 5:30. I'm running so many, so I get lost on them. But it's set up, just join. And I know we did have one individual that had asked us about, is it good for women with metastatic breast cancer? What I say is it's good for women with any kind of cancer.
Right.
So feel free to come online and talk to us. And it's just a piece of camaraderie to have somebody that's talking. We never give you medical advice. Our response to requests on medical advice is go talk to your doctor. What we can do is share what was right for us and what was true for us as an individual. And everyone on the group can say their own opinion and what was good for them.
Oh, that's a good idea. And don't forget, if you have any ideas of how to help us, or you have a talent in social media, please contact us, because definitely we need help. And during this time where you're sitting home and you're bored and like, oh, what can I do? Well, you can call us or email us and, hey, show us your talents. We could use that. Or if you work for a company that matches funds for fundraising, let us know. I mean, that would be great too. And also...
and the SCORE, I have to say that the people from SCORE, which thank you very much, Jerry.
Tell me about SCORE.
SCORE. It's an organization for seniors who have retired, and because they're so knowledgeable and wonderful with the information, they help other business owners. And so if you're part of SCORE Network and things like that, come and help us out.
Oh, that's a great idea. And it's all free services, is that
all
correct?
free services.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize
SBA
that.
and things like that. So for those of you that are out there that have your own business, the one thing that I would recommend is contacting the Small Business Administration, or here in Staten Island, you have the Chamber of Commerce, you have the business organization run by Nina Flores, who does and helps women. And the other thing, too, is that we're going to have webinars that we're putting together. We're having someone help us put these together. The webinars and webisodes are set up to provide you with information on the different things you need to know once you're diagnosed. Again, how to set up your finances, how to set up your will, depression, which is a big thing, what to do, where to go, and so on. Again, this is not about treatment. This is about living and thriving, most of all, because people forget that we are human beings, not just a disease.
Mm-hmm. So. Oh, I like that idea. And I want to ask a question to all of you out there. What have you done during COVID to kind of relieve the depression and the loneliness? Actually, I've walked and walked and walked so much that for 2 days one time I couldn't walk at all. I had walked like 7 miles that
was
day.
It you said you do your Forrest Gump?
Yeah, I felt like Forrest Gump, just keep going and going. But it really helped. If you can walk with someone, that's even better, because then you can sit and talk. But otherwise, you can just walk and reflect. And you might say to yourself, well, gee, I'm outside, but I'm alone. But it's a different kind of feeling outside. You need to get out. You need to get some air. You need to exercise anyhow. Let's face it. If you sit in the house, forget about it. It's not very healthy for you, especially a breast cancer person or any kind of cancer.
And this is where I throw it to Deborah. Maybe Deborah might want to lead a walking group.
Oh, interesting.
And we can do something at Clove Park.
Right.
And then there's waterfalls in there. There's deer, there's wonderful wildlife. I even walked one time and I swear that I saw like Jurassic Park in the corner. It was like a shadow of something that looked like a velociraptor. So, but you can take pictures while you go. Right. And see all the differentness because you have
it's
so
beauty.
much beauty.
Well, yeah, it's nature. I think that's the whole thing. I love nature. I like looking in the sky. My mom used to do this where you look at the clouds and you decide, okay, what does that look like? Like one day I was thinking of my mom and I looked up and there was a cloud that looked like a heart shape. And I was like, oh, wow, she would have liked this. I don't know. It's just fun stuff to do. Other times if I'm home, if the weather's really bad, I like doing crossword puzzles. That keeps my mind going, and also it's good for your mind to exercise your brain. And they don't have to be hard. I use the easy ones, but
use the easy ones.
Yeah, really. I tried the harder ones. I'm like, oh, gee, I don't know any English anymore. But no, it's always find something. Yeah. Music is good to do.
Learning a new language.
Yes.
I did that this year. I learned Portuguese.
Oh, I learned more curse words now.
Do you know I'm Spanish and I have never cursed in Spanish?
Oh, geez.
I only know one really horrible word that I learned what that word meant, and my grandmother used to say it when she was really mad. But I just learned like 5 years ago what it meant.
Oh, geez.
And I was like, oh my God, and I just blushed like crazy. But I was never taught how to curse in Spanish, and I know how to curse in German.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird. But as far as languages go, learn a new language. Isn't that a wonderful thing? I mean, that was my big claim to fame.
Yeah, Portuguese is hard.
Portuguese, and it was so much fun. So now I need to find people that speak Portuguese.
Or go to Portugal someday.
Which I'm planning to go to Portugal.
Yes. How did you learn, though? Was it that
Rosetta Stone, actually.
Oh, okay, not Babbel, because I've heard of this other one called Babbel.
I was using Rosetta Stone, which I really loved. And then there's this woman called Virginia, that she has speakingbrazilian.com. So speakingbrazilian.com.
Oh.
And she's just, I found her to be the most wonderful teacher because she actually spoke slow and very specific and very enunciated.
Right.
And so her and Rosetta Stone actually made a great combination that I went back and forth. And then I bought a book on Amazon that did like, put the sentence together and what's your verb and your subject and so I did the whole like high school grammar. So wonderful things to do. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you do something.
Right,
Otherwise you're going to be like like The Shining, it's like, I'm home.
I'm home.
Yeah, what was his name?
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, and you don't want to end up that way. And it's so easy for us to let depression set in and the isolation set in and so on. So find things to do, create things. That's one of the things that I loved about our crochet club, constantly creating. And so learning a lesson, creating something. If you don't like crocheting, well, paint.
True.
I used to be known when I was younger, I would actually literally paint the walls in my bedroom. And I would use watercolors and stain and whatever was handy. And I would just draw life-size murals on my wall.
Right.
And then when I got tired of them, I would just white it all out and start again. You can do that.
Well, I like to house paint. That's a little different.
Yes, Deborah, you don't know.
I paint
Deborah
my walls.
paints the walls every single time. So every month she's painting a different wall or a different room
That's true.
or something. But it's wonderful. It's a way of enjoying your life. And whatever that is for you, feel free to share it with us.
Yeah.
Because we're always looking for ideas.
Yeah, definitely. Come up with new ideas.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing how fast.
It's amazing how fast our show goes because we have like 10 seconds before we need to wrap it up and say goodbye to you. So please feel free to contact us. Please feel free to email us, info@cancertamer.org. Go to our website and look at some of the old shows, look at some of the new shows. If you're interested in being in our webinar, we're going to be doing a webinar series. If you're interested in it, please contact us. And don't forget, we're doing the new book, Breast Cancer, Dare to Thrive. So please contact us about being part of that.
Right. And if you want to volunteer or you are students and need to intern, please contact us.
Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Dr. Charlie Ferrer.
Hi, I'm Deborah Zuli Barone. And it was great. It was great being here.
So happy 2021.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. More to come.